when we call on those desires and we start to manifest them, the destination. So the part from like where you are now to like when you get whatever desire that you are manifesting, like that in between can kind of like trick you, but it's really like you would say, it's there for you and not against you. I can't really like, kind of quote it verbatim, but like it's like I have to prepare myself so I can meet that vibration when it comes to me.
Do you
So
know most of that preparation is up here?
Yep.
in the
I would
subconscious.
say 99.99%. It's right up there. It's what I tell myself. It's how I think and being aware of how you think, because that's what's showing up. Everything showed up as a thought. It's actually the first universal law, and it's the law of mentalism. Everything that we see was created up here first before it appeared in our environment. And that is how the world works. Some people would even say that the law of mentalism is the only law and everything else doesn't even matter. If you look up the law of mentalism. So that's where hubby is, that's where money is, career success, life is all up here. Mentalism. So what we are receiving right now, what we are living in right now, what we are experiencing right now, it started up here. So it's in our environment, just like the chair I'm sitting in. This was in somebody's mind first before it became something that held my butt.
Right.
So, and there's nothing I could touch or experience that isn't true for. So what shows up for us starts there, and then that's how it appears out in our environment. So being mindful of that and what we tell ourselves has everything to do with what we end up experiencing. We never have to be a statistic, or we can be a statistic, but we can be on the good side of it. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's the meaning we give it. But mentalism plays a huge part in our personal experiences. And that's a daily thing. When you said, how do you stay on the path? How do you keep it? You have to check your mind 24 H's a D.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. It's not something that you get to pick up when it's convenient and put down when I want to be who I used to be and I want to be the familiar for a moment. We don't.
You know, one thing I tell myself, like, cause I tell Nene all the time, I'm like, I'm a master at manifestation. I feel that I am. Like, when I actually put my mind to it and like actually like set my intention, like what I put on paper and I or anything that I think about that I manifest, it shows up. So like I know that power that I have. And I tell myself all the time, like when I'm in those like weird ass spaces or whatever, I'll be like, man, you better get your mind right. All the time, be like, get your mind right. But you hit the nail on the head as far as like it takes, a person that's aware to actually, know what you kind of putting out. And I think like from my perspective, like from where I'm sitting, like because I know that mentally, like I'm still kind of psyching myself out, and the things that I'm telling myself don't come from a place of love all the time, and they don't come from a place of grace. That's why I'm sitting my ass in a corner trying to figure my stuff out before, I'm saying, like I'm just out here like, hello, because that's one thing about being a Sagittarius too that I love is we like naturally attract people to us, right? And so like I know that I have that innate ability, so I'm gonna show up and be like, hello, oh my god, like you're so nice, I'm talking to you, knowing that I still need to get the suitcase over here and fold these clothes. So it's man, you
That's a
really
good point.
you pulling on all of my, you just got all my stuff.
Well, you might not like me after I say what I'm about to say.
I know you good. You good.
So,
I love you.
Hold it,
I
but
love you. You
I
good.
would say, I would say we are all master manifestors.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at, so you remember I said the law works whether you are aware of it or not.
Yep.
Everything that we are experiencing came from our subconscious, and it shows up. So we are all mastered manifesting. It's just some of us don't realize that what we desire versus what we're putting out there don't mesh. Right. But we have all mastered how to manifest. If I got a shitty life, I am the master manifester of that. Or if I'm enjoying what I wanted to create, I did that. But I think that's one of the hard parts. We actually all manifest it. We
Oh,
all
for sure.
masterfully manifest exactly what we have.
Yeah, we're all
Mhm.
creative beings. We're all powerful. But I have a question though. Like,
Yes.
because you said, when I said, from when you set your intention and you put that desire out there, there are sometimes like, a journey that you have to kind of go on before you can kind of meet that vibration and be ready for like that desire. And you said that the journey is all mental.
Yeah.
Girl,
It
can you
is.
kind of like touch on that?
It is the law of mentalism. So that's where this whole entire experience that we're having as humans and souls came from, is mental. It started in the mind. I'm going to use this word that I don't often use. I'm going to say God. It all started in the mind of God and showed up here in these universes, galaxies, and space that we exist in. And so mastering that thing actually becomes the purpose of every soul, that mind, how we think, because it's exactly what we are experiencing. But if we're unaware that I'm experiencing this or that because of how I think, then if we can't draw that connection, we'll continue to attempt at it, but we maybe won't experience what it is that we want
Okay.
until we
you
see that,
change
that's directly connected.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
And so then that's when we go from believing to knowing. Knowing is when things get activated, because just like if you go back, I want to touch on what Jabri said way earlier when she said she was listening to The Secret. The Secret has this thing where they're telling you that you picture what you want in your mind and then you add feeling and emotion, and that's what makes it show up, right? So we do that to everything, but we're usually adding negative emotions and it shows up negatively in our life.
Yep.
But kind of when we're talking about mentalism and we're bridging those connections together, how I think is what shows up out here. The emotion that we attribute to that and the feelings that we have when we think those thoughts is what makes it show up. Like if I'm angry about something and I just think about it and it makes me angry, I did exactly what I needed to do to manifest more of that undesired thing in my life, because I added an emotion. It doesn't have to be a positive emotion. I can add a negative emotion and I'm still going to get whatever it is that I thought about in my head, added emotion to, it showed up in my life. And so it takes steps to reverse that because our subconscious has been programmed that way.
And you got to
so
be
it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
Like when you that's another part, about setting intention. Like it's not haphazardly. You know what I'm saying? You got that intention, to me, becomes your kind of like your due north. So you always checking in with yourself. Like you said, is this something that I'm choosing? So if it all kind of just, is interconnected to that alignment, with what you're calling to yourself and what you need and what you actually want to experience, what your soul wants to experience. So that's dope.
It's not easy to modify our mind, y'all. That's a daily thing for me. I won't even try to make it sound like that's an area where I have arrived. I'm checking my thoughts all the time because they were running amok, honestly. Before being consciously aware, my thoughts were running amok and I didn't even think twice about, well, that wasn't a thing to be thinking, Robin, or why are you putting energy into that? I wasn't aware. And so I felt like, and I used to pride myself in being a critical thinker. I used to say that all the time. Instead of just being present in the moment, I'm like, I'm a critical thinker, blah, 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 blah. And my spirituality allowed me to exchange that critical thinking skills to being in the now, because spirit source gives me everything I need in the moment, because I take time to cultivate that relationship with source. So in the moment, I didn't have to think too much, ladies, about the time with you tonight. I didn't have to give it a lot of thought. Besides the intention, I knew that source in the moment, however it unfolded, would give me what I needed. But that came from, cultivating that relationship that goes in instead of out. Because, people are, well, let me Google and see what Google say about, and let me blah, 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 blah. That's going going outside of myself. So that journey becomes going within, because all we have to do if we want to answer to something is ask the question.
Yep.
And that's how
all
we
you have to do. You get the answer real quick.
Quick. Slap you quick.
Man.
Yeah.
You're like, dang.
Isn't that so cool? It's so cool.
It is really cool. It is really cool. It is.
Yeah.
I have to admit. But that is all I had. Jabri, do you have anything else?
I mean, I'm definitely thankful, what I'm saying, that you're actually able to join us, Miss Robin, because
Oh, I'm
you
grateful for you too. You all,
yes,
I appreciate this so much. You have enriched me. So
you
I'm
enriched
grateful for the
Oh,
us.
time
you've
that I
enriched
have
us
had with
too.
you.
Yes, yes. Thank
I
you.
have some really good takeaways.
For sure.
For sure.
Same. Well, I appreciate it, Robin.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you for having me.
That was our pleasure. So that concludes this episode of Intention, and I'll let Jabri take us out.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Miss Robin, again, and have a great day, morning, week, wherever you are, and be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Thank you.
Likewise, ladies. Namaste.
Namaste.